How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. We all know Giannis will likely win the 2019 NBA MVP award. James Harden will likely finish second. Paul George will probably come in third. It will be the first time in PG's career he'll be viewed as a heavy MVP candidate. Throughout the years, the last 5 MVPs, for example, like James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, and LeBron James were one of the best players in the game. But over the course of NBA history, there have been plenty of forgotten MVP candidates who finished in the top 5. So here are 8 of the most forgotten NBA MVP candidates since 2000.
Alonzo Mourning, 1999-2000, who actually finished third behind Shaq and Kevin Garnett, averaged 21.7 points, 9.5 rebounds, almost 4 block shots on 55% shooting. No one else besides Shaq was in the discussion as the best player at the time, where Allen Iverson, who finished 7th, had 1 first place vote, robbing ONeal as the first ever unanimous MVP. Mourning was one of the best defensive bigs in the league, led his team to a 52-30 record, second in the Eastern Conference. The 6'10 center actually finished second in MVP voting the year before in '99, in one of the closest races in NBA history. Karl Malone won by only 54 points. At least Mourning did win Defensive Player of the Year twice, in '99 and 2000. Yes, so is one of the most underappreciated bigs ever. Although he was never the best center, he was one of the best big men before his kidney problems occurred. The 7-time All-Star was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2014. Chris Webber, 2001, finished 4th behind Iverson, Duncan, and Shaq. C-Web was one of the most skilled power forwards in his prime. At 27 years old, he was the best player on those early 2000s Kings teams. Averaged 27, 11, and 4 in 70 games played, earned the starting spot at the forward position for the Western Conference All-Star team, led his Kings to the 3rd seed, going 55-27, knocked off the Suns in the first round, the first time in his career he advanced in the playoffs, where his team had a daunting task going up against the defending champion Lakers, getting demolished in the sweep despite his averages of over 26 points, almost 13 rebounds those 4 games. Kobe and Shaq each averaged over 33 a game. The Kings had no chance whatsoever. Jermaine ONeal, 2003-2004, before Malice in the Palace occurred, Indiana was considered title contenders, with the 6'11 power forward the best player on the team, who finished 3rd in MVP voting behind KG and Duncan. Posted averages of 20 points, 10 rebounds, over 2.5 blocks. At the time, there was a legit debate on who was the better power forward between ONeal and Dirk Nowitzki. Before Jermaine's career was ruined by injuries, he had one of the best post games in the league, was also one of the best interior defenders. As an elite shot blocker, although his numbers weren't that eye-popping, the 25-year-old led the Pacers to the best record in the NBA, going 61-21 overall. At the start of Jermaine's career, he came out of high school, was a nobody in Portland. As a bench warmer, former Pacers GM Donnie Walsh upsetting many fans by trading away Dale Davis for ONeal, who never even averaged more than 4.5 points his first 4 seasons, but led his Pacers to the Eastern Conference Finals, losing to the eventual champion Pistons in 6 games. The 6-time All-Star had many injuries afterwards and wasn't as consistent, was just a role player who bounced around after his time with the Pacers, retired after the 2013-14 season. Also the same season, Peja Stojakovic, who finished 4th in MVP voting. KG had 121st place votes, Jermaine had 2, and Peja had 1. Even had more total votes than superstars Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, and Jason Kidd. The 26-year-old sharpshooter averaged a career best 24.2 points, 6.3 rebounds, shot over 43% from 3, almost 93% from the line. Matter of fact, Stojakovic was second amongst the scoring leaders, only behind Tracy McGrady. Allen Iverson didn't qualify for enough games. Peja also scored the 2nd most total points in the regular season, behind Kevin Garnett. Made All-NBA second team, led his Kings to 55 wins, while Webber only played 23 games due to injury. Sacramento beat Dallas in 5 in the first round before falling to Kevin Garnett's Wolves in the tough grinded 7-game series in the semis. The 6'10 Croatian native was the first European player to finish in the top 4 in MVP voting. Injuries also ruined the latter part of his career, but he did win an NBA title with the Mavs his final season in 2011. Chauncey Billups, 2005-2006. After leading the Pistons to back-to-back finals, 05-06 was Billups' best season. At the very prime of his career, at 29 years old, finished 5th in the MVP race behind Steve Nash, LeBron James, Dirk Nowitzki, and Kobe Bryant. The former Finals MVP averaged a career-best 18.5 points, 8.6 assists, shot over 89% from the line. In one of the weirdest MVP races, Billups had 15 first-place votes, one more than Dirk. You can even argue Chauncey had a more deserving case over Nash since he led his team to the best record, 64 wins, made All-NBA second team alongside All-Defensive second team, as well as the best leaders in the game, knocked off the Bucks in the first round, Cleveland in the semis, before falling to the eventual champion Heat in 6th in the conference finals. Mr. Big Shot also finished 6th in MVP voting in 2009, made the Nuggets contenders right after he was traded. Tony Parker in 2012. The 29-year-old led the Spurs to a 50-16 record in the shortened lockout season. Tied for first overall with the Chicago Bulls, Parker finished 5th in MVP voting, behind LeBron, Durant, Chris Paul, and Kobe. Even received 4 first-place votes. Since he was the best player on the best regular season team, TP averaged only 18.3 points, 7.7 assists on 48% shooting, was amongst the best point guards in the league at the time. Duncan saw limited action at times, while Coach Pop monitored his minutes, and Ginobili sat out 32 games that season. The team had Danny Green, Gary Neal, and Thiago Splitter, dependable role players, but Parker made every one of them better, was the most impactful player for San Antonio, the most consistent team in the league. Joakim Noah, 2013-14. A lot of people have already forgotten Noah was a legit MVP candidate just 5 years ago. To make you giggle a little bit, Noah was amongst the 4 finalists as the ESPY's nominee for the Best NBA Player Award. That was not a joke. The 6'11 center averaged 12.6 points, 11.3 rebounds, also dished out the team best 5.4 assists, 1.5 blocks in 80 games. Because there weren't many elite centers at the time, Noah made All-NBA first team, won Defensive Player of the Year, and the 28-year-old played his tail off. Coach Tibbs ran the offense through him at times, while D Rose only played 10 games and Luol Deng 23 due to injuries. Joakim led his team to a 48-34 record, the 4th seed in the East. He deserved a lot of credit for the Bulls' success, but was no match for the Wizards, losing in 5 in the first round. KD easily won MVP that season. LeBron came in 2nd, Blake Griffin 3rd, and Noah 4th. He was later hampered by injuries a couple seasons after, fell off quickly. The Knicks gave him a shocking 4-year, $72 million contract. Was a total disaster at the Mecca, but resurrected himself with Memphis in 2019. The 34-year-old's NBA future remains a mystery at this point, but he's still got something left in the tank as a backup center. Isaiah Thomas, 2016-17, finished 5th in the MVP race behind Westbrook, Harden, Kawhi, and LeBron. Averaged an astonishing 28.9 points, almost 6 assists for a Boston team who finished number 1 in the East, winning 53 games. The 27-year-old carried the Celtics on his shoulder all season. At 5'9", the shortest player in the NBA, IT was the lone offense for the team. In a starting lineup which consists of Avery Bradley, Jay Crowder, Al Horford, and Amir Johnson, Coach Brad Stevens deserves a lot of credit, maximizing IT's potential, and the fact that the team won over 50 games was absolutely incredible. Thomas made 2nd team All-NBA, beat the Bulls in the first round in 6, knocked off Washington in 7 in the semis, averaged nearly 27.5 points, over 7 assists against the Wizards, had the inspiring 53-point Game 2 performance, but suffered a devastating hip injury, ending his season in Game 2 of the conference finals against the Cavs. IT played a combined total of 44 games the last 2 seasons. Will unfortunately never get his max contract. It remains a mystery where he will go next season.
Those were 8 of the most forgotten NBA MVP candidates since 2000 who finished in the top 5. A lot of those players had their career cut short by injuries. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys haven't watched the 2019 NBA Finals commercial, I highly recommend you to check it out. I think you guys will absolutely love it. It starts 9 p.m. Eastern, so don't miss out. I love all of you. See you next time.